Greetings. This is Dr. Sharon Miharis, and I am speaking with Joshua Amponsem from Africa, and who is involved with very
Yeah.
important work in protecting our environment and raising awareness in that area. So I'm going to let him tell you more about what he's doing. This is for an ecopsychology course that I'm teaching, or that I'm actually creating at this point in time, because we want to demonstrate what's possible with grassroots movements throughout the planet. Okay, Joshua, could you
Thank
begin
you very much.
sharing how you would define your relationship with nature and how that led to this work?
Yeah, I discovered my intense relationship with nature. I would say not so long ago, actually. So growing up, I was very fascinated with water in general, and I like to spend time by water bodies, by rivers, by lakes. And growing up, I went to university on the coast, and when I saw the ocean, it was so beautiful, and I wanted to spend all my free time sitting by the ocean, listening to the waves, the sound of the waves. It's rough and it's calm at the same time. To me, it was so amazing. And I drew so much inspiration just sitting by the sea and just seeing the waves make that sound and the ocean. It was so beautiful. So through that, I realized how much power there was in nature. And by that, I wanted to do everything I could to protect all water bodies because the ocean draws all its strength from water bodies across the globe. And it also made me realize how connected we are as the whole world, as people, as the water bodies flow from one place to the other. Join with the ocean joins the whole world together. It made me realize no matter where I am, once I'm by a water body and I can touch that water body, I'm connecting myself to the whole world. And that was how come I decided that doing every little bit in my local community to protect that water body, to protect the environment in general, that is me doing something massive for the whole world and making sure that nature is still unique, nature is still pure, and we can all draw such strength from. So that was how it began when I was in uni. And I realized that anytime I was troubled, anytime I was angry, anytime I was sad, when I was happy, I would go and sit by a water body. When it rains, I'll stand by the window and just watch the rain pour. And to me, that was the amazing thing that could have ever happened to me. And it was so beautiful whenever I just see the water just dripping off, or the oceans just making that sound, the river flowing, the lake staying calm, and the birds standing on the water bodies. It was so beautiful to me and so much to offer to humanity if you pay attention to water bodies and listen to what it has for us. So that was how it started. And since then, I've been working so hard to protect nature.
And can you share a little bit about what you and others are doing right now? By the way, Joshua, how old are you?
Okay, so I'm 25 years old.
You're 25, okay. And can you share a
Yeah.
little bit about the group and what its name is and what it's doing?
Yeah, so for the past 3 years, as a person, I've been focusing on expanding knowledge on climate change and calling individuals to take action. So collaboratively, I've got myself involved with many other environmental groups in Ghana and across the globe. And I founded my own organization called Green Africa Youth Organization, which I started when I was still a university student, drawing inspiration from some few lecturers who were very passionate about what they were teaching. And there were a few lecturers who were also teaching not just theoretical aspect of what they were teaching, but they were letting us know how important it is for us to understand what is actually happening in the world. And then through that understanding, I decided that I'm not just going to stay in a classroom and just listen to this. I'm going to form a group. I'm going to form an organization which will take action from the classroom to the real world. So I put together 5 teams, and together we just started community education along the coast, along the rivers, along the water bodies, going to communities and telling them how important it is for them to protect their ecosystem. So through that, it started from there. That was far back 2014. And since then, we've been moving on. We've been organizing national campaigns. We've been organizing climate simulation events across Ghana. And we've got ourselves involved with other international organizations. And purposely, what we've done so much is expanding knowledge on climate change, making sure people understand that climate change is not a myth. It's not something people are fabricating. It's not a political agenda. It is something that is coming against nature. It's nature taking action against itself because we have induced it and we have committed or polluted so much such that nature is reacting to that. and we need to revise our standards of living. We need to revise our ways of living, and that is what we're communicating to people. And along the line, I got to also realize that moral suasion was the best way to use in my part of the world, letting people understand that it is their religious responsibility to take care of the environment, to be stewards of the environment. So when I go to a Christian community, I let them understand that God created the Garden of Eden and He placed man into it to be stewards of the garden and take care of everything that there is within and make sure everything was peaceful. And then it is their responsibility in their communities to take care of all the natural materials and all the natural things that revolves around them. And it is these things that makes us live. So without this natural environment, we don't exist as humans. We are still part of the ecosystem. God gave us brains, and those brains were for us to take care of all the other things that surrounds around us. And that is what we communicate. And I realized that this thing is able to make people commit to taking action on climate change and protecting the environment. When you go to a Muslim community, it's the same thing. I believe that all religious groups appreciate nature, but gradually as the world is evolving, we are shifting from that. And it's about time we just drop people's attention back to the point that religion is for nature. And once you have a religious belonging, you are mandatory, you are supposed to take care of nature and restore nature. And that's what we've been doing.
Right. One of the problems I have myself with, I've studied religion quite a bit and have been a practitioner for most of my life, but I have problems with the fact that most religions have drawn away. They idealize some garden of paradise and ignore the garden that is right before us that we're in and part
yes.
of.
Yes. Yes. So most often I'll stand within a community, I'll stand before a group and I tell them, we are the gods. We are gods on earth. Every single one of us is a god. And it is our actions, it is our behavior, it is our attitude that proves whether we are being the gods we are supposed to be. And it's not something that is held up in the sky or something that is being so distant away from us, that something we cannot reach or something we cannot see or we cannot feel. We are the things we expect to see. We are who we think we are supposed to be. It's just all about us knowing that, yes, we can do what we think is supposed to be done. Nobody will come from the skies and do these things for us. We are that people. We are those people.
Right.
We are supposed to think, behave, and live like that. And the world will be peaceful.
Right.
Yeah.
The very life that we live is the most valuable moment in which to create not only attention, but change. Yeah. And I really appreciate the
We are the change we wish to see.
Right, the grassroots movements that are taking place. And I think many indigenous peoples throughout the world are making very important statements. And the one thing that I greatly appreciate from indigenous peoples and the religions, world religions, when they came in, they made it look as though it was antiquated, but no, it's not. That belief, that animistic belief that everything has spirit and life in it. I so appreciate that from indigenous peoples.
Yes.
And I would wonder if you'd want to contribute anything to that.
Yes. And that is something that, So that is something that I say that we were being robbed of that. It was taken away from us.
Right.
We were robbed of it. It was something that we held so valuable. We were living it. That was our lives. And in quotes, we were told that we are being enlightened, and then we were robbed off that way of life, that way of living, and then it was replaced with something else. And through that, it's like just like you saying that religion has now become something of an ideologist thing that is hanging somewhere, where people think that they are not what they are supposed to be, and there is something else somewhere which is the mighty thing. But we are that thing. It is in us.
Right.
And we saw everything as something that was valuable, something that was filled with life. And we appreciated everything, the herbs, the trees. They were giving us life. They were healing us. It was giving us food.
Mm-hmm.
It was everything that made us who we are as human beings.
It seems
then in quotes,
water reminded you of this.
Yeah. Exactly. And then we were told that we were being enlightened. And then we accepted something else, and we forgot about how life was just revolving around us. And
Mm-hmm.
everything was embedded in science. Everything was embedded in theories. Everything was embedded in something that was written in books. And
Mm-hmm.
we're not able to use our intuitions anymore. We're not able to follow our hearts, our intuitions, our instincts anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the problem we have now. Science is good, science is wonderful, but until science merge with indigenous knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
we are still far away. We are still so long far away from where we want to get
The
to.
internet's going a little bit bad right.
Because indigenous people hold solutions to the problem.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to repeat.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so I'm just saying that until science merges with indigenous knowledge, we are still far from where we want to go to.
Mm-hmm.
Because indigenous people have solutions to the problem.
Right.
Science has kept record, has done the research, and is holding the facts. And the facts, together with what the people know works within their community, is what is going to help us.
Mm-hmm.
But then science comes in and it scraps off all the intuition, all the ethics within these communities, and it brings in something written down in books and solutions that has been formulated somewhere, hoping that it will work across the globe. It's not going to work like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because the people know their environment, they know their water bodies, they know their forests,
Mm-hmm.
they communicate to these trees, they live with these animals, they know how to live with them, they know how to protect them. So until science appreciates indigenous knowledge and merge, I think we are still far away from where we want to get to.
Yeah, but with people like you and Jorge Calero in Colombia and many people around the world, it gives me a great deal of hope. And I want to thank you,
Yes.
Joshua, for sharing this knowledge with with me and the class. And
Thank you so much.
thank you so much.